The FBI says it's now time to remain vigilant. Not a time to panic, but, they're not really good at doing their job. They can't even protect the Capitol building from an insurrection, even though apparently they knew it was going to happen and Trump was leading us all to it and so on and so forth. Couldn't figure it out. But now they're in charge and they're saying, don't worry, it's not a time to panic, but certainly the border's a problem. We've got international concern that might be causing people to come across the border. We've seen attacks in other parts of the world. Maybe that could happen here. And so FBI Director Christopher Wray was in front of Congress answering questions about it. But there were other clips here because Mayorkas was also talking about what this could lead to. Okay, if the FBI is telling us to be vigilant, what is the vigilance about? Well, it might be that Hamas, Hezbollah, or other Iran-backed terrorists or other things may have happened at the southern border, and Mayorkas can't confirm that that is not occurring. We've also got Senator Kennedy asking, do you even have any idea what the numbers are from people coming across the border? And we'll wrap it up with the actual numbers. But this is Wray, and they're all starting to come out now and start to, hey guys, it's, might be a little time to get concerned. Just keep your eyes out, look around, make sure if you see something, say something. And we see a lot of things, starting with incompetence. But here is Christopher Wray from our FBI.
Time for panic, but it is a time for vigilance. We shouldn't stop conducting our daily lives, going to schools, houses of worship, and so forth.
Yeah, it's not COVID.
But we should be vigilant. You often hear the expression, if you see something, say something. That's never been more true than now. And that's probably partly why the American people are reporting more tips and leads to us. And we're pursuing those threats and leads as vigorously and responsibly as we can.
All right,
Not a time.
We've been here many times hearing from Wray, hearing from the DOJ, everybody, Merrick Garland, the White House, all the spokespeople, that the greatest threat to America is homegrown domestic violent extremism. And we heard even in the insurrection trial in Colorado yesterday that if you say things like 1776 in a certain context, you might be an insurrectionist. You might be basically a terrorist in this country just for using words and symbols that they don't like because maybe it reminds one side of freedom and liberty that they're trying to strip away from us. So he is now coming out, and I think this language is a little bit more aggressive than we've heard from him in the past. Be vigilant, right? Don't panic, but like for real though, be vigilant. And this is a theme that we've seen elsewhere. And I don't know if they're going to be focused on white militia groups or if they're going to be focused on other things that might be happening at the southern border, because we've got a lot of concerns about who is coming across. In fact, this is the Secretary of Homeland Security, a counterpart over there with our government, to the FBI. They work together a lot. And they ask him in a separate hearing, they say, hey, Mayorkas, can you tell us how many people are coming across, or rather whether the bad people are being prevented from coming across? Here's what Mayorkas said.
Can you say that Hamas, Hezbollah, or other Iran-backed terrorists are not in the U.S. currently after possibly illegally crossing our southern border?
Senator, let me assure you that anyone who poses a threat to our national security or our public safety is an enforcement priority of ours, and we use our detention capabilities to the fullest extent.
And you say that.
So he can't say that, right? He didn't say that they're not here. He just says anyone who's dangerous, we're trying to find. Okay, so that's a non-answer. So no, he's not going to tell us that they are not already here, right? It's a very interesting exchange. Now they're totally incompetent. We see this here because this one came over from Benny Johnson and he clipped this. He says, Senator Kennedy is going after this other immigration official. And Senator Kennedy, he likes to get right to the point, doesn't like to mince words in many ways. And all we want to know is what's happening down there, because there could be some problems as a result.
American citizens have come into our country illegally or on the basis of a claim of asylum.
Thank you, Senator. HSI as an investigative agency is...
Do you know the number?
No, Senator.
You're a senior member of Homeland Security, are you not?
That's correct.
Does anybody know the number?
Oh.
None of you know the number. Try 8 million. Now, of that 8 million, how many were children, Mr. Morant?
I don't have that number. Senator.
You don't know. Does anybody know?
No, they don't. They don't
None
care.
of you know. Isn't that special?
It is special.
Let's assume half, okay? 8 million is 4 Nebraskas, right?
Yeah, a lot. We use Wyoming.
4 new states.
We use Wyomings here, so it's probably like 6 to 10 Wyomings.
Let's assume
8 Wyomings.
I don't think it's as high. Half of them are children. How many of those 8 million people are still here? Do any of you know? Okay. How many of those 8 million are claiming asylum? You don't know? How many of them claim asylum and don't show up for their hearing? Nobody knows. How many of them claim asylum, don't show up for the hearing, and President Biden has deported them? You don't know? How many of them have claimed asylum, shown up for their asylum hearing, and been denied asylum? and been deported. You don't know.
They don't know anything because they're just a bunch of government bureaucrats, and they don't have responses to just even the most basic answers that we would want and expect from them. So he said 8 million people. If there's 500,000 people in Wyoming, that's 16 Wyomings based on my terrible math. But that is a lot of people. And so there is no limitation, apparently, to what's happening at the border. They think they're doing a great job, and they're having enforcement priorities for all the bad people that they say might be coming across, but no answers. Meanwhile, Christopher Wray tells us we all need to remain vigilant. Of course, we'll continue to follow, my friends, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one.